What's up, guys? I'm back again to do another Justin Herbert video because the man cannot stop balling out. That is 5 straight weeks with an A+ grade, which is insane. Like, Justin Herbert is playing some unheard of caliber football, and I just have to show you. I have to share this beauty with you guys. 4 of 6 on deep attempts. 43% of his dropbacks ended with a positive play. Almost half the time when Justin Herbert took a snap under center, he made something good happen. Not like the play was good. He did something to make the play good. I also saw a lot of people talking about how Greg Roman has really turned it around. No, he hasn't. It's all 3-man route concepts, lots of heavy sets, playmakers not being used to the best of their abilities, and then Justin Herbert making all of it totally inconsequential because he's just playing that out of his mind. He was only accurate actually on about 58% of his passes in this game because he was attempting so many. But the ones that he was accurate on were sick. That's enough talk, though. That's my minute of Joe to start it off. Let's watch the beauty unfold until the third quarter, and then we kind of just don't talk about it for a minute, and then we get back to it. I've been seeing a lot of praise for Greg Roman lately, saying he's figured it out and he's calling really good games, and I would just like to say I don't agree at all. I think Justin Herbert is just transcending Greg Roman's poor play calling. And this first play is a great example. You come out in heavy, right? So you've got a fullback, except it's actually a defensive lineman who's not very good at playing fullback, and a running back, and a tight end who's just a blocker. So you've got 6 offensive linemen effectively, plus your defensive lineman who's blocking a cornerback, and your running back who's going to block for a little while, and then he's going to release right into the flat. If you play Madden, he's got a light blue route. That means you're going to have literally 2 receivers to run routes. Quentin Johnston's going to run a deep sail, and Ladd McConkey's going to run a funky little comebacker. That's not great play design. And I understand it's play action, so maybe it's easier, but that's really poor, especially when you've invested this much into your offensive line with bookend extremely good tackles and first-round picks in the interior. It's a really poor play design. It's the kind of thing I would expect the Titans to do with their terrible offensive line, but it makes no sense here, and because of it, you got a coverage sack, right? Where's Justin Herbert supposed to go with the ball? Here's where he's supposed to be spotting somebody open. I guess he could have a lot of faith and anticipation and say Quentin Johnston's lined up on a linebacker, and yeah, there's a safety over the top, but I can get him with the linebacker. And maybe by here he's open, but by the time Quentin Johnston's open, Herbert's being sacked. It's a no-fault sack to start the game. Bad play design. Herbert couldn't transcend it because he wasn't given an option. Here, Herbert says, I'm not waiting for you guys, and he just takes off as a runner, and he's an incredible runner. This is a very impressive run, and again, this has nothing to do with Greg Roman, right? Get to the top of your drop. Who's open? You kind of have a slant, right? You could have thrown the slant. I could see it, but everything else is just curls to the sticks. It's Joe Lombardi all over again, right? Terrible play call, no creativity, not a lot of upside either because nobody's going deep. Herbert makes the play. Justin Herbert is the engine. Justin Herbert is the steering wheel. Justin Herbert is the driver. He's the whole damn car. More play action, top of the drop. Nobody really open. Honestly, not a very accurate throw. Could have been a lot better. Put the ball a little higher, make it easier to catch, or at the bottom of the screen you have number 5 open on a deep, deep dig. No matter. Again, not a very creative play. None of these are very creative pass concepts. Justin Herbert's just making them work. Right here, nobody's open. This should be a no-fault sack, right? Nobody's open whatsoever. The play is very poorly designed. Like, all this play is a curl from Quentin Johnston, a flat from your blocking tight end, and a post from Ladd McConkey. That's not brilliantly designed. And again, you only have 3 receivers. That's really, really poorly designed passing concept. This play is designed to go for 5 to 10 yards. Instead, when McConkey reaches his post and realizes, this isn't really going to work, he turns it back around on the scramble drill, which is very intelligent from him. Herbert does a great job of extending the play. That's a plus pocket movement. And Herbert finds the open receiver outside the play. The play, as called by Greg Roman, had nothing to do with what just occurred, but it was a solid throw from Justin Herbert with at least one pocket movement that extended the play and created the play that eventually occurred. And then this throw is just stupid. We'll show the tight copy. Very simple, tight end seam. They run 4 verts out of 3 tight ends. Again, really bad passing concept. You've got 3 tight ends on the field, 2 of which are just blockers, and you're going to run them all downfield on streaks. Luckily, Justin Herbert is a freak. Look at that placement. You could not throw a better ball than that. That is an elite throw, an accurate, deep ball. Wow. Like, if I could grade something as better than elite, that would be in the echelon. That is incredible. So that entire drive, Greg Roman called 0 plays that really helped his quarterback, and the quarterback helped himself. Here, this is another throw. It's just like not a lot of guys can make it, right? He's right in between the hash marks at the 20-yard line, and he's throwing a stripe to the opposing 45. Nope, I'm bad at math. The same 45. Still, 25-yard downfield, ton of zip, opposite hash. Oh, great ball. Great throw. The arm talent alone to be able to attempt that is very difficult, right? The accuracy and the processing to see it out of play action and stripe it right over the defender is special. It's a great throw. Again, you could argue that's elite. I won't. But it's very, very great. Here's another one. It looks like it's behind the receiver, but that's actually the only place that Herbert can put the ball without it getting broken up. Let me see if I have the tight copy. I don't think I do. But that's another solid throw that could be great. I don't have the tight copy, but check it out. Top of the drop, no hesitation. Perfect placement. Right, and it looks like Quentin Johnson's going to be wide open for a touchdown at the bottom of the screen, but that's only because Cam Taylor-Britt breaks off of him once the ball is already thrown. Get real. Get real. I wanted to let it breathe. I wanted to let you drink this play in. But again, he only ever really has 3 people out in routes, right? They always leave 2 dudes back blocking. And it's partially because they have no good receivers, and it's partially because their offensive line's not very good, and it's partially because Greg Roman doesn't really know what he's doing as a pass game coordinator. But Quentin Johnson runs a sail, and he's open, and Herbert has to readjust out of the play action boot, right? Because he's supposed to be rolling to his right. Here's how the play is supposed to look. So it's play action, and the running back blocks, and the fullback / defensive end blocks. Ladd McConkey's going to run a drag, come over like here. Quentin Johnson, the eventual target, is going to run a deep sail. Right, so he's just going to kind of cut between the linebackers and the safeties, eventually making his way towards the pylon. On the other end, you're going to have Palmer running a very deep crosser. The idea is that Justin Herbert's going to roll out after his fake handoff, rolling this way, and throw the ball to Palmer, who's rolling parallel to him on that deep cross. Justin Herbert has such great vision that he's going to look to the backside and not only be able to notice Quentin Johnson wide open 30 yards downfield, but hit him with his momentum rolling away from all the way across the field. Let's watch it one more time clean. there's a play action, and you block. I drew the play action to the wrong side. Forgive me, it's early, but a perfect throw nonetheless. Another accurate deep ball, elite throw. And you see he gets all the way to the other hash. He has to roll up. He has to readjust the play, and he hits his man square in the end zone. Justin Herbert, man. I mean, he's special, and he's carrying an otherwise not good offense. Like, the design is not getting people open, and the receivers are not good. Some of them are useful, like Quentin Johnston's useful after the catch, and he's kind of useful for running deep because he's fast, but he's not good. Ladd McConkey's actually good, but he's niche because he's a slot, right? So Justin Herbert's making a lot of chicken salad here. Top of his drop, nobody really open. I would have liked to see him throw to McConkey. He breaks open a little bit on the backside of the slant. No matter. Justin Herbert's going to run, and that run is just as good as an elite throw. So he will get a positive run, and he will get 2 bonus points to make that positive run just as valuable as an elite throw, because he gained 30 yards. So here, this is a designed pump fake, right? Herbert's supposed to come out here, pump fake the screen, and then throw possibly deep, right? Because those quote-unquote blockers at the top of the screen, they're actually running a streak and a fade, or actually a post and a fade. The idea is that the cornerbacks will bite up on the screen, and then you could throw it over their heads, but it didn't work, so Herbert just comes right back to the screen. Really good job to not panic when things don't go as planned, and actually a pretty solid play call from Greg Roman. Good job. Routine throw, but solid processing. More play action. That's a bad ball. Don't know what he's doing. I know that nobody's really open. I would rather put the ball on the very sideline and let 81 try to run under it. That ball was just a little too close to harm's way, although I guess when you throw it 80 miles an hour, you can't expect the safety to catch it. Solid throw, very simple. McConkey runs the curl. Herbert gets to the top of his drop. Perfect rhythm, perfect timing, perfect ball. Top of the drop, no wasted motion, and another solid throw. I know it looks easy, but like this is 18 yards downfield from the launch point, roughly 13 yards past the line of scrimmage, and it's to the hash. And Justin Herbert just zips it in there like it's nothing. Like, a lot of quarterbacks cannot make that throw. Like, if Joe Burrow tries to make that throw, because Joe Burrow just simply does not have the arm talent Herbert has, he has to loft it a little bit more, so the receiver has to come back a little bit more, which is why a lot of the time when Joe Burrow throws these kinds of curls and comebacks, the receiver ends up just short of the sticks because he has to throw the ball a little shorter because he can't throw the ball as hard, and therefore the receiver needs to come back more. Just a throwaway. Right, and it was a right just throwaway. There was really nothing open. Here, instead of throwing it away when Justin Herbert sees nothing, he runs. 3rd down conversion. Beautiful. Boom. Again, nothing really open. Could have taken a deep shot down the seam, I guess, but why risk it when you got legs like that? Positive run. Another just gorgeous seam ball, right? The Chargers finally go a little bit spread. They've actually got 5 receivers in the pattern, and look at Herbert throw this ball into the void, right? So the called play is that the tight end is going to run a streak. This is 4 verts. But Justin Herbert alters the play by just having the arm talent to teleport the ball there before the receiver needs to break away from the safety. Right? That ball needs to be thrown where it is. It needs to stop the receiver to protect the receiver from getting beheaded by the safety over top. It's the only place the ball could have been. It's a great throw. It's another accurate deep attempt. Here, another throwaway. Let's see if Herbert's seeing everything. He almost always is. The man's an elite processor. Yeah, nobody's open. Right? It looks like there's an opening between those 3 defenders at the top of the screen, but that's called an interception because you have to throw the ball in a straight line. And 57... he's going to pick this ball off if you throw it to McConkey. right? The ball, it's monkey in the middle, and you don't have the time or space to lob it over the linebacker. The linebacker's going to catch that ball if you throw it. So Herbert smartly throws the ball away. Good job. More play action. Get the ball right back to the running back because the two receivers in the pattern didn't get open. I hate Greg Roman's three-man route patterns. I think they're very dumb. So I've seen a lot of Chargers fans defending Greg Roman lately and saying, no, he's doing a great job. No, he's not. He's calling lots of pass plays. They're poorly designed, but Justin Herbert makes up for it. That's all it is. Here is a screen that the tight end drops because the Chargers have 3 blocking tight ends. When you build the entire team out of fullback dive and then you realize that the best way to win is to have a vertical passing offense, it creates problems. Here, Herbert makes the right decision, and he makes a really good throw. It's just not quite good enough. I would like to see Herbert put more arc on this ball, allow the ball to drop in the bucket like a Russ Wilson moon ball would have back in the day. Instead, Herbert throws this ball too flat. It's too much of a line drive. He tries to gun it, and he has the arm talent to gun it, but gunning it, A, is bad because it's harder to be accurate, and B, it's difficult because it doesn't give you the advantage of dropping the ball over the defender's head, right? By keeping the ball flat, he brings the defender back into the play, and that's how this cornerback... Is that Taylor Britt? No, it's Newton. That's how Newton's able to make, a really good play on an otherwise accurate ball, right? In practice, in 7-on-7, that's a perfect throw that lands directly in the fingertips of the receiver. But in practice, like in reality in practice, this is just a bad throw. In games, when you have a cornerback trailing, that ball needs to be higher so it can drop over the top, into the bucket. Don't hit the bucket on the rim, over the top. It's like a chicken wing basketball shot versus a teardrop. You want to, shoot the ball up and let it drop down into the bucket so that when it hits the rim, if it hits the rim, it has a chance of bouncing into the net rather than bouncing off the rim and ricocheting for a crazy rebound. Good pocket movement, way to set your feet and find the open man. There's only one of them, and he finds them. Quentin Johnson falling on his face at the bottom of the screen for not many reasons. Solid throw. Like, the amount, almost every pass that Herbert's completing in this first half is impressive. Very little is easy, and when it is easy, he's navigating the pocket well. Except for there, where he had a clean pocket and threw an easy pass. They can't all be zingers. This one's tough. Quentin Johnson still has hands made of cinder blocks. I understand why Justin Herbert doesn't want to throw this ball over the top, right? You've got safety help, which could be crashing, and if the ball's not thrown perfectly, could lead to a pass breakup. But Quentin Johnson is kind of winning this route. I'd like to see the ball out front more. All right, if they're even, they're leaving, right? And everything after that is throttle down so you can track the ball. When the ball's thrown, they're about even. So, knowing that Quentin Johnson's number one trait is his speed, I would leave this ball over the top and allow Quentin Johnson to win upfield, leading him towards the end zone. Instead, Herbert sees it as Quentin Johnson's not winning this race. I'm going to throw him a back shoulder, and he does. And Quentin Johnson almost makes the catch on the back shoulder, but again, you have to remember Quentin Johnson can't catch. So, it's a bad deep ball, but it's so close to being good. It's one of those things where it gets charted poorly, but it's scintillating to watch. When you watch the film, you know this is better than just a miss. It's a little bit of a bad decision, but it's very borderline, and it totally could have been caught. In fact, I'm tempted to go back and grade that as a good ball, because Quentin Johnson certainly did have a 50-50 shot at that back shoulder throw. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to upgrade that from bad to good, and I'm going to call it an accurate deep ball, because I think it was. Here, Justin Herbert just misses. Bad throw. Can't blame Quentin Johnson's hands for that. It almost hit his feet. Little RPO, bad. I think it gets tipped at the line. Doesn't matter. Either way, it's bad throw. great job to navigate the pocket. Again, nobody's open because it's a 3-man route concept. Right? You've got 3 receivers. You've got a quarterback, which means you've got 7 men blocking. With 7 men blocking, Justin Herbert should be able to have a picnic, but that's not the case because Trey Hendrickson doesn't like picnics. Trey Hendrickson plays awesome all the time. In this game, in almost every game. Trey Hendrickson, white lightning, sick as hell. Herbert escapes a pocket he probably shouldn't be able to. It's a plus pocket movement, and he rolls out. It's another plus pocket movement, but still nobody's open, and nobody's really even adjusting their route to, account for the fact it's a scramble drill. So he gets sacked and there's nothing he could do about it. He did everything he could. No fault sack. And he gets all the yardage right back. Look at this. That's a great throw. On 3rd down, come on. Oh, he loves that Quentin Johnson deep ball, and it does not love him back because he just can't quite connect. I believe this is a drop by Quentin Johnson. Let's see. Ball looks lovely. He gets plenty of height on it. Yeah, and right off the hands. Let's watch it frame by frame because All-22 is lovely, but it doesn't give us the best angles. Insane play by the cornerback to try to Odell Beckham it. But as you just saw, the ball still hits Quentin Johnson in the hands. Right there. That's in 2 hands. You gotta catch that. Now, yeah, Herbert could have put the ball a yard out front maybe and still had it be catchable for a touchdown, but the landing point is at the 12-yard line. Justin Herbert throws this from the 45-yard line. It's a 43-yard pass, and it hits his receiver square in 2 hands. Elite, accurate, deep ball. Man, if Quentin Johnson could just learn how to catch. Then again, if Usain Bolt could just learn how to catch. Here, I don't like this choice to run. Herbert actually has options for once. Yet again, another 3-man passing concept. So Greg Roman just doesn't know how to handle having a passing quarterback. But the play-action rollout works, and Quentin Johnson's open. I know that there's a safety breaking. Herbert has the arm talent. He absolutely needs to gun that ball in there, and you have the ball with a 1st down at about the 18. Instead, he runs it and fumbles. And this is the beginning of some real disaster. Right? The first half was awesome. We've seen the second half up and down. This is where things really started to get scary for those of us who had money on the Chargers. It should have been a throw for a 1st down to Quentin Johnson, and maybe Quentin Johnson drops it, but then it's 2nd down. Instead, Herbert runs it and fumbles are held against the quarterback. It's also a neutral run because he still picked up like 5-6 yards. It's about as good as a check down. But damn, it's a missed opportunity, and it stings more because he got punished for it with some bad fumble luck. And this is where the Chargers kind of just implode. He's actually got a 4-man pass pattern for once, but it's very simplistic. Like, you've got flats at the bottom, or speed outs at the bottom of the screen from your outside receivers, and then you've got a deep dig from Quentin Johnson at the top of the screen and a corresponding deep out. I believe that's a tight end. I have no idea. And I'm not going to learn these Chargers receivers' names, all of them, because some of them are not going to be in the NFL next year. But that is a very, very good throw into an extremely tight window. It's a solid throw. Here, play action. Deep ball. That's just bad. Breaking. Deep ball that sails out of bounds. Not accurate. And that's okay. Deep balls are really hard to be accurate on. That's why they're so valuable. Well, they're also so valuable because they lead to touchdowns, but every team would do what the Steelers do and just throw deep bombs every single snap if deep balls were easier to hit. That's a bad pass. It got tipped. It's incomplete. Justin Herbert does get a lot of balls tipped for being 6'6", and it goes to show that getting balls batted has very little to do with height. This ball stinks. I should have the tight copy, but I'm lazy and dumb. It's just out of the reach. Take my word for it. If you saw the broadcast, you know it was not quite catchable. If Quentin Johnson dives for it, maybe, but it's really hard to dive when just coming out of your break. Herbert missed, and it's okay. It's a bad ball. He'll get the ball back because Joe Burrow and the Bengals can't accomplish too much. I like that people were complaining, like, oh, if Joe Burrow had a field goal kicker. Well, field goal kicker missed 6 points, and Chargers won by 7. And you wouldn't need your field goal kicker to kick long field goals if you could get like a couple first downs when it mattered. But you couldn't for a reason. You only scored points during garbage time when you were down 18. Here, this is 3rd down, and this would basically ice the game after the first missed kick by the Bengals. And Herbert just absolutely misses the most wide open comebacker of all time. Right? It's 3rd and 4, and McConkey is 15 yards downfield? No. Wow. It's 3rd and 15. I got the first down marker confused with the original line of scrimmage marker. Yeah, no. So, I mean, it's perfectly to the sticks. McConkey does everything he should, and Herbert just misses high. And, like, yeah, McConkey might have been able to catch it, but his feet would not have touched the ground. It's a bad throw. I'm glad I have the tight copy, because you'll see just how upsetting it is. To play this great of a game and then throw a ball this close to accurately, but not at all accurately, is really frustrating. Like, if McConkey would have caught that, it would have been a bailout catch. It was not close to being a good throw. It was almost like a routine duck of a throw, and alas, it ends up being nothing. And then bad ball, too low, too late. And it's at this point that Justin Herbert tries to throw the game-ending pick six. He's just late, and he telegraphs it, right? It's a little speed out, and if he puts the ball further outside and throws it a little earlier, maybe he's got a chance, but this is a very savvy cornerback. Mike Hilton knows, oh, he's running a speed out, and he beat me. I'm just going to run underneath him because the ball is probably going to be there soon, and he does, and it's perfect. Ball needs to be further outside. Ball needs to be earlier. And Mike Hilton just made a great play. That's a pickable ball, and it should have been a pick six, and it could have ended the game. That's the real thing that Bengals fans have an opportunity to gripe about that they don't. And then just dime city. Like, what? Messy pocket, steps up anyway, doesn't care at all, releases the ball from the 35-yard line and throws it to the opposite 44. You could do that math. That's about a 20-yard throw. And it hits Josh Palmer between the nipples, and he drops it. Just a drop. Just a gross, upsetting drop. I'm so glad I have the tight copy. You will see the ball hit the receiver square between the nipples. It's important that you know that this ball hit him between the nipples. See that ball between the nipples? Damn, what a throw. Nipple talk. Great ball. Bad drop. Again, another opportunity for the Chargers to ice the game. Dropped. You just can't make it up. Chargering is real. But so is Justin Herbert. All right, line of scrimmage is the 16. Ball gets thrown accurately to, let's call it the 43. Almost a 30-yard throw, and it's on a dime. And the reason that... So McConkey doesn't actually have to do the Moss job here. He could have just throttled down and jogged under the ball. He chose to do the pirouette Moss job because he wanted to. He felt more comfortable doing it. That's totally fine. It's a great throw, not an elite throw. An elite throw is a little further downfield. McConkey might hit his head on the goalpost, but it's a great throw. It's an accurate deep ball. See what Herbert's seeing a little bit. Clean pocket, steps up, doesn't mind, dime. That's a great throw. It's not perfect. You know, the receiver had to make a really good play as well, but accurate, deep, clutch. Speaking of clutch, not the receivers. This ball goes right through the arms. It's like 81 was making a basketball hoop for his toddler to shoot a basketball into with his arms. Your dads ever did that? Another great ball. Just stupid. Finally, another four-man pattern. Herbert takes his time, lets go from his own 35, and he gets the ball to the opposite 30. 30 plus 35 is 65 minus 100. We have a 35-yard throw to the opposite hash. Dime. You could argue it's elite. I would. I mean, it's a 30-yard throw that lands on a dime. So Justin Herbert had 4 elite throws in this game. Now, keep in mind, a lot of quarterbacks have like 4 elite throws on the year, right? He had 4 in this game. He had 4 great throws as well, also staggeringly high. 8 solid throws, 5 routine throws, which is crazy. Not a lot of short balls. 14 bad throws, which is impossibly low for Justin Herbert. Oddly enough, he had the exact same accuracy percentage against Kansas City in week 4, 58.33%, but everything else is over 80. I mean, on the season, he's accurate on 79% of aimed passes, way above league average, unheard of. So this is like a solid 20% lower than typical for him. He also had that should have been pick 6 that low-key could have lost the game. But, if we're talking about couldas and shouldas, Quentin Johnson could have caught a touchdown that put this game on ice. Ladd McConkey could have caught a ball that would have put this game on ice. Lots of balls could have been caught. I think Will Dissly had like 2 or 3 drops. Herbert got sacked twice, neither his fault. He had 2 throwaways, both good ideas. He had 3 big runs that I was impressed by. He had 1 run that I thought was a bad idea. He had a fumble, which stinks. We went over it. And he navigated the pocket pretty well with 14-plus pocket movements to extend or create plays. In the first half, his PGP was 15, putting him on pace, obviously, for a 30 on the game. The highest I've ever seen in an NFL game is like 24. So that would have been unreal. Drake May had 1 game up near 30 in college, but it's a different game. Now, on the year, Justin Herbert has been sensational. He's clearly the MVP in my book at this point. He's run away from Josh Allen. Got off to a little bit of a slower start, but by this point, it's 5 straight weeks. Not 5 straight weeks of like really good ball. 5 straight weeks of like he's doing everything. He's dominating so thoroughly. I can't comprehend. This is Tom Brady level stuff. And I just hope that people are giving him the respect he deserves. And they're hating on Greg Roman because his 3-man pass patterns never make any sense. So the man's got, let's call it an underwhelming offensive coordinator as far as the pass game goes. Greg Roman can design some runs. Good for him. That's lovely. That's not what we're here for. And it's also not what's important in the NFL. Designing pass patterns is. He's got an offensive coordinator who's underwhelming in the pass game. He's got bad weaponry aside from a rookie Ladd McConkey, who's only a slot receiver now. And like he's got some outside versatility, but the best version of himself is in the slot. Like Emmanuel Sanders, who's my comp for him. Right? He can play outside, but you'd rather he didn't. His running game has really slowed down a lot lately until that last second jailbreak by J.K. Dobbins. And the offensive line is supposed to be good, and he's having more time to throw, but maybe it has something to do with 7 blockers on every play. The Titans could certainly take a lesson from how the Chargers are blocking things up for their quarterback. Maybe if they swapped offensive coordinators, things would be better for both. I digress. I'll do a Will Levis video like probably literally as soon as I finish this one. The beauty of waking up early. All that being said, I think Justin Herbert's the MVP. He's one of the smartest quarterbacks, if not the smartest, in the NFL. His accuracy is ridiculous. His arm talent's ridiculous. His size is ideal. His mobility is crazy. And he's finally come out of his shell. The one knock, like the one thing that made me reticent about him under Joe Lombardi was that he was so cowardly. He was never aggressive throwing the ball down the field. He would just take what the defense gave him. He would process very quickly, very safely, exactly what Joe Lombardi and Brandon Staley wanted him to do. And he did something similar at Oregon. And I loved him at Oregon. He was before Drake May, he was the highest graded prospect I've ever seen, grading since 2020. And I The one thing I worried about was like, what if this guy's just kind of conservative and scared? What if he just likes the short, quick game and doesn't want to go for the throat? Well, whether Jim Harbaugh has taught him to go for the throat or Justin Herbert has just been given enough time away from Joe Lombardi to re-become himself, I'm loving what I'm seeing. And Chargers fans should too. God forbid this guy get an ex receiver or like a good offensive coordinator. All right. What do you guys think? Also, tell me, do you like the background music or no? Because I've gotten mixed reviews about it. I'm going to keep it in just real quiet on this one. Uh, like and subscribe, comment, any suggestions you'd like for the production value of the videos. Love to hear it. What I really want, though, talk ball. Put a timestamp. Say, like, I loved this play. I disagreed with that play. Could you explain more on this play? It's what I'm here for. Until the Will Levis video goes up, I'm just going to be grinding film. Hasta.